I don't give a damn. I said what I said. I meant what I meant. And I'm going to double up and double down on my podcast, The Stephen A. Smith Show. Look for it on YouTube today. I didn't stutter.
Stephen A. Smith has never been afraid to speak his mind. And now, his latest remarks have sparked a storm, this time aimed at Kobe Bryant's widow, Vanessa. He's accusing her of draining Kobe's estate and heading toward financial trouble. According to Stephen A., he's got receipts, and the details are jaw-dropping. At the heart of the controversy is a rift that's torn through the Bryant family. In a recent interview, Stephen A. questioned whether Vanessa has deliberately cut off Kobe's family from his wealth, and even hinted she may be spiraling financially herself. To understand how things reached this point, we have to look back at the events that unfolded in the months after Kobe's tragic passing, when the cracks in his empire first began to show. The first shock came from inside Vanessa's own family. In September 2020, just months after Kobe's death, Vanessa's mother, Sophia Lane, went public with explosive claims. In an interview no one expected, Sophia alleged her daughter had kicked her out of her home and left her homeless, despite Kobe's supposed promise to take care of her for life. This wasn't just a private disagreement. Sophia took Vanessa to court, claiming she had spent nearly 2 decades working for free as a personal assistant and nanny for the Bryant family. She demanded millions in back pay, a new house, and a luxury car, specifically $5 million, a home, and a Mercedes SUV. Vanessa's response was swift and fiery. She accused her mother of extortion, insisting Sophia had only ever babysat occasionally, and was now exploiting a tragedy for money. "I have supported her for nearly 20 years," Vanessa said publicly. "She now wants to back-charge me $96 an hour for supposedly working 12 hours a day for 18 years. She also flatly denied Sophia's claim that Kobe had promised her lifetime support, saying, "My husband never promised my mother anything." But the drama didn't stop there. While Vanessa was battling her own mother in court, another voice stepped forward, this time from Kobe's side of the family. Pamela Bryant, Kobe's mother, accused Vanessa of cutting her off completely after his death. Pamela claimed that Vanessa abandoned her financially, and had done nothing to help the woman who raised one of the NBA's greatest legends. Within a single year of Kobe's passing, both mothers, Sophia and Pamela, were publicly accusing Vanessa of financial betrayal. The widow who once stood beside Kobe during his rise to global fame was now at the center of 2 simultaneous family wars. And as Stephen A. sees it, these disputes are just the beginning of a much deeper unraveling.
Kobe's mother. Kobe's mother is still walking. She's still with us. Vanessa Bryant, are you going to take care of Kobe's mom?
The media jumped on the story, and social media went into overdrive. Even Stephen A. Smith weighed in, questioning why no one in the NBA was holding Vanessa accountable. The loudest critic has been Dr. Umar, who once accused her of ignoring Kobe's parents due to racism, and claimed the media was protecting her simply because she's a white woman.
I don't hear nobody saying that. Now, you and I both know, if a black woman inherited a white man's estate, and he had some old white parents, white folks would be all over the media shaming them. All over the media shaming them. But because Kobe Bryant's parents are black, Vanessa's not black, nobody's coming to his family's defense. I just hope they stand up for Kobe's mom.
But let's take a step back. This isn't just about in-laws, racial accusations, and bitter ex-family members. This is about one question: what would Kobe have wanted? According to multiple reports, including accounts from people close to the family, Kobe had been estranged from his mother, Pamela Bryant, long before his death. Their relationship fractured after she allegedly attempted to auction off his personal memorabilia without his consent. In 2013, Pamela reportedly tried to sell his high school jerseys, championship rings, and other items. Kobe didn't just object, he responded with a lawsuit. From that point forward, the rift was permanent. Sources say Kobe cut her off both emotionally and financially. After his death, Pamela turned to Vanessa, demanding financial support. When Vanessa refused, the narrative shifted. Suddenly, she was painted as the villain. The irony? The same woman Kobe allegedly distanced himself from his mother to protect is now accused of being cold-hearted for honoring his wishes. Yet beneath that irony lies a far bigger question. If Vanessa inherited an estimated $600 million estate, why is she now facing whispers of bankruptcy? This is where the story turns from family drama to financial mystery. The deeper you look into Vanessa Bryant's post-Kobe financial world, the more a troubling pattern emerges. This is no longer the image of a grieving widow simply trying to survive. Instead, it's a portrait of someone possibly living beyond her means, caught between costly lawsuits, public pressure, and rumors of a shrinking empire. Even among Kobe's most loyal fans, doubts are surfacing. What, they ask, is Vanessa really hiding? One of the most explosive allegations came from her own mother, Sophia Lane, who accused her of betrayal in court. And that's where the pattern crystallizes. Pamela Bryant, Sophia Lane. Two mothers. Two lawsuits. Two sets of accusations. And one woman in the center of it all. Behind the closed doors of the Bryant estate, a quiet but fierce battle is unfolding, a struggle over legacy, power, and wealth. And it's playing out in the most public, humiliating way possible. Since Kobe's passing, Vanessa has held full control of his fortune. But with that control has come financial decisions that, some fear, could damage his legacy for decades to come, something Dr. Umar argues is deeply tied to race.
Racism is about the control of resources, opportunities, and privileges. It has nothing to do with calling black people the N-word. It has nothing to do with believing black people are inferior to you.
Kobe Bryant's net worth at the time of his passing was estimated to be around $600 million, a fortune built from decades of excellence on and off the court. This included roughly $200 million from NBA earnings and more than $400 million from investments, business ventures, and partnerships. One of his most famous deals was a $6 million investment in the sports drink company Body Armor, which reportedly ballooned to about $400 million when Coca-Cola acquired a majority stake. On top of that, there were endorsement deals with major brands, multiple luxury properties, high-end cars, valuable collectibles, and the creative and intellectual property tied to Granity Studios, his own media company. But after his death, questions began to surface about the long-term health of that empire. The first signs weren't in the sports pages or entertainment headlines, but quietly in real estate listings. In 2022, Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's widow, put one of their Newport Beach homes on the market. It had been purchased in 2013, and experts estimated it had appreciated by roughly $2 million. While selling a property isn't unusual for someone of her status, the timing sparked curiosity among estate watchers. Around the same period, whispers began about high legal fees and restructuring of Kobe's estate. Within the next year, 2 more luxury properties were listed for sale. One of them was a family-owned condo used by relatives, and another was part of a larger retreat outside California. What puzzled some observers was that these were homes Kobe reportedly intended to preserve for his daughters as part of his estate plan. Her legal and PR teams remained quiet, but financial experts were less reserved. Analysts told outlets like Bloomberg that when you see multiple high-value properties sold in a short time by someone without a steady income stream, it can signal cash flow pressures. One estate planning attorney, speaking anonymously, said legal disputes had consumed an enormous amount of Kobe's estate since 2020. The costs weren't from just one battle but several: a wrongful death suit against the helicopter company involved in the crash, litigation with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department over leaked crash scene photos, a case she won a $16 million award from but reportedly split with co-plaintiffs and paid substantial legal fees on, lawsuits from her own mother, threats of legal action from Kobe's mother, and ongoing trust disputes. Even with some victories, the expense of fighting on so many fronts was massive, covering attorney retainers, estate management, asset disputes, and private settlements. Some estimates suggest tens of millions have been spent on legal costs alone. At the same time, Vanessa's public appearances have projected a life of luxury: vacations to Europe, Turks and Caicos, Aspen, high-fashion red carpets, celebrity galas with custom couture, private chefs, and frequent private jet travel, even for short domestic trips. No one argues she shouldn't live comfortably. She endured a devastating loss and is raising 3 daughters. But the concern among analysts is that the lifestyle spending has not been paired with reinvestment into Kobe's brand and business legacy. Take Granity Studios, for example. Before his death, Kobe had built the company into a content powerhouse, publishing books, developing projects, and holding talks with Netflix and Disney for animated adaptations. Today, the company's Instagram has been inactive for over 2 years. The website lists no new projects, and former employees suggest operations are paused or winding down. Kobe's beloved Mamba Sports Academy, renamed the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation by Vanessa, has reportedly slowed its programs and expansion plans. Tax records show a steep drop in funding year over year, and some corporate sponsors have quietly stepped back. Kobe's estate was never just about money. It was about a vision for impact, legacy, and continuity, a framework to inspire and support future generations, especially his daughters. Several insiders claim Vanessa has been consolidating Kobe's business partnerships into personal trusts she controls, removing advisory boards and replacing key managers Kobe had chosen. To some, that signals a shift from collaborative oversight to singular control. Combined with property sales, high legal costs, and no visible scalable income streams from Kobe's brands, some experts believe more than $100 million could have been spent since 2020. One industry insider has warned that unless the estate launches sustainable brand partnerships or significantly reinvests in Kobe's business assets, its liquidity could run dry within the next decade. Commentators like Stephen A. Smith have called that possibility a tragedy, not just the loss of wealth, but the slow erosion of a carefully built legacy. For years, Vanessa was untouchable in public opinion. She was the grieving widow who eulogized Kobe with grace before millions, a devoted mother, a symbol of strength in the face of unimaginable tragedy. People defended her fiercely. But now, that public mood appears to be shifting. What began as quiet speculation has grown into louder debates on social media, sports talk shows, and YouTube exposés. Videos with titles like, "The Silent Collapse of Kobe's Empire," and "Stephen A. Smith Tried to Warn Us," have amassed millions of views, citing court filings, property records, and past interviews. Even mainstream outlets have subtly adjusted their tone. In the immediate years after Kobe's death, publications like People, Entertainment Tonight, and Vogue ran glowing features about Vanessa's resilience and motherhood. Recently, coverage has been more cautious. Forbes ran a breakdown of Kobe's estate without praising her financial strategy. The Los Angeles Times covered her property sales, calling them strategic, but noting uncertainty around the estate's future. The change isn't overt criticism, but it's also not the protective tone of past years. There's also been a noticeable shift in her celebrity circle. In 2020 and 2021, her social media was full of appearances with high-profile friends like Lala Anthony, Ciara, Kim Kardashian, and Gabrielle Union. By 2023, those public connections had faded. Birthdays, shout-outs, and red carpet moments became rare, and few big-name celebrities have publicly defended her amid the controversies. Even LeBron James, once thought to be close to the Bryant family, has stayed silent on the legal disputes and estate questions. Perhaps the most significant change has come from Kobe's own fans, one of the most loyal, passionate, and protective fan bases in sports. Longtime supporters have begun asking why the Mamba Academy's online presence has nearly vanished, why Nike has pulled back on commemorative Kobe merchandise, and why there haven't been major documentaries or books celebrating his legacy in recent years. Multiple sources claim Vanessa holds full creative and legal control over such projects and has either delayed or blocked them. One former ESPN producer, speaking anonymously, alleged that a high-profile streaming service's Kobe docuseries was shelved after negotiations with the estate broke down over demands from her legal team. The result is a prolonged silence. No definitive documentaries. No sweeping tributes beyond social media posts and limited charity gear. No large-scale public commemoration of Kobe's vision. Fans are left wondering what Kobe himself would think if he saw the lawsuits, the brand stagnation, and the wealth consumed by legal costs and luxury living. Kobe Bryant's legacy was never just about his championships. It was about his dedication to fatherhood, mentorship, and the pursuit of excellence beyond basketball. He wanted his daughters to inherit not only his wealth but also the values and structures he had built to sustain it. In interviews from 2017 and 2019, he spoke about building a foundation his daughters could grow from, teaching them the value of discipline, sacrifice, and hard work. Granity Studios was part of that vision, a place to create stories that inspired young people, especially girls, to believe in their own potential. Kobe called it a storytelling studio with a sports soul. After his passing, that creative engine appears to have stalled. Similarly, the Mamba Sports Academy was meant to train athletes not just in physical skills but in mental toughness and teamwork. It was where he and his daughter Gianna trained together, a temple to his values. The renaming of the academy in Gianna's honor was a touching tribute, but reports indicate programs have been scaled back, staff reduced, and sponsors lost. Kobe was famously disciplined with money. Even at the height of his fame, he avoided reckless spending, preferring to invest in assets, companies, and initiatives he believed in. His philosophy was simple: own, don't rent; build, don't borrow. In contrast, observers say the estate's recent direction has involved selling properties he intended to keep, engaging in prolonged and expensive legal battles, and prioritizing personal luxury over business growth. Supporters of Vanessa point out that she has faced extraordinary challenges and remains dedicated to her children. Critics counter that the current trajectory doesn't align with Kobe's long-term vision. And so, the debate continues. Is this simply the natural evolution of a grieving family adapting to a new reality? Or is one of the most iconic sports legacies of our time being dismantled piece by piece? What's clear is that Kobe Bryant spent his life building something meant to outlast him, a legacy rooted in discipline, creativity, and purpose. Whether that vision survives the next decade will depend on decisions being made right now, in boardrooms, legal offices, and behind closed doors. For fans, friends, and former colleagues, the hope is that the story of Kobe's empire doesn't end in quiet dissolution, but in a revival worthy of the Mamba mentality.
That man left her a sizable estate, man. A sizable estate. And I don't hear any of these NBA players saying like, listen, we're not trying to get in your business, but Kobe was our brother.
The truth behind Stephen A. Smith's statement cuts deeper than any headline. Kobe Bryant's estate wasn't just about money, it was about dreams, vision, and purpose. Now, what's left is a fractured family, a dormant business legacy, vanishing funds, and a deafening silence. The question looms, can the Bryant legacy survive without Kobe? Or has the empire he spent his life building already slipped away? The answer lies with Vanessa Bryant. She still has a chance to honor Kobe's name, but it will take reinvestment, reconciliation, and rebuilding. To do that, she'll need to follow Kobe's own example, own her mistakes, make the hard calls, and fight for something bigger than herself. Only then can his legacy rise again. But there are darker corners of this story, parts the public hasn't seen. Silence that speaks volumes about what might really be happening behind the scenes. The children's future at risk. No one wants to think about it. But what happens to Natalia, Bianca, and Capri Bryant? They didn't just lose their father and sister, they could be losing their inheritance. Kobe's estate was placed in a trust, with Vanessa in control until the girls reached certain ages. But here's the harsh truth. Every legal battle, every property sold, every shuttered business venture drains that trust. Estate experts we spoke to were alarmed. When you burn through tens of millions in legal fees and lifestyle expenses while closing income-generating businesses, you're essentially taking from the beneficiaries. One attorney told us. Even more concerning, Natalia, now 21, reportedly has little involvement in the estate's decisions, despite her legal right to information. Sources say she's been kept in the dark about the true financial situation. The Nike fallout one shocker? Kobe's Nike deal, meant to generate millions annually for his estate, has been quietly scaled back since 2020. Why? Industry insiders say Vanessa's team made demands Nike found unreasonable and contrary to Kobe's vision. Kobe wanted his shoes affordable for kids who couldn't buy Jordans. Vanessa's camp pushed for premium pricing and limited releases, killing potential revenue that could have funded scholarships and supported the girls. The $16 million settlement that wasn't Vanessa's high-profile $16 million win against LA County wasn't what it seemed. Legal fees swallowed a massive portion, and the payout was shared with other crash victims' families. Even worse, sources say Vanessa turned down a larger early settlement because her legal team promised they could get more, costing the estate tens of millions and prolonging the fight. Shut down deals and lost opportunities before his death, Kobe had multiple ventures in motion: tech investments, global business expansions, media projects. After his passing, several of these partners went silent. A sports analytics collaborator told us Vanessa's team came in and shut everything down, wasting millions in development. Kobe's reach wasn't limited to the US. He was a global icon with licensing deals and overseas partnerships in China, Italy, and across Europe. Yet, since his death, Vanessa has made no international appearances or announced new deals. It's as if Kobe's global empire has been abandoned. The memoir that may never be read, perhaps most heartbreaking. Kobe was writing a memoir detailing his life, mistakes, growth as a father, and dreams for his daughters. Friends say the manuscript is locked away, with no sign Vanessa intends to publish it. That book could have inspired millions and generated revenue for his family's future. Instead, it gathers dust. Insiders start to talk now, NDAs are expiring, and former employees are speaking out. A Mamba Academy coach revealed Kobe had plans for underprivileged youth programs, international training camps, and coaching certifications, all scrapped months after his death. A Granity Studios insider claimed Netflix wanted a Kobe documentary series, and Disney wanted animated films based on his books. Both offers were killed because Vanessa's team demanded creative control that would have altered Kobe's message. The chilling projection: financial experts warn that if current spending continues, the Bryant estate could be effectively bankrupt in 7 to 10 years. That means Kobe's daughters, whom he believed would be set for life, might inherit nothing but debt and legal battles. And there are the unanswered questions. Why hasn't a single major NBA figure publicly backed Vanessa's decisions? Why is Nike pulling back? Why are international partners silent? Why are former employees risking legal trouble to speak out? The answer may be simpler than we think. They know something the public doesn't. Stephen A. Smith said what many have been thinking. Now, the question is unavoidable. Is Vanessa Bryant protecting Kobe's legacy, or destroying it? Is she a widow doing her best in a tragic situation, or has she lost control of an empire she never truly understood? What would Kobe say if he saw what's happening to everything he built? The clock is ticking. The money is vanishing. The legacy is crumbling. And soon, there may be nothing left to save. Thanks for watching.